Welcome to your daily 5-minute crypto brief with Satoshi and Nova. Today is July 26th, 2025. I am Nova.
I am Satoshi. In the last 24 hours, the cryptocurrency market has shown a really fascinating mix of volatility and recovery.
Yeah, definitely.
From Bitcoin's swift plunge and surprising rebound to meme coins like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu kind of defying expectations.
Right.
Today, we're distilling the most important nuggets of knowledge from the sources out there to give you a shortcut to being well-informed.
Exactly. If you're looking to understand the forces shaping the crypto landscape right now, well, you've definitely come to the right place. We'll explore why Bitcoin saw that quick dip, down to around $115,000, then rebounded near $117,500.
And how those often, let's say, maligned meme coins, even Bonk, surprisingly outperformed. It's quite something.
It really is.
We'll also delve into some surprising macro developments influencing these shifts and reveal some major industry news.
Yeah, including a significant corporate Bitcoin adoption.
And unfortunately, a stark reminder of ongoing security risks, too. Okay, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So the past 24 hours in crypto really showed its dual nature, didn't it?
Absolutely.
Bitcoin initially plunged to around $115,000.
Right.
That was amidst a wave of leveraged liquidations, right?
Yeah, basically forced selling that just amplified the price drop. Big time.
But then it climbed back to near $117,500, gaining about 2% on the day.
And Ether followed, rising roughly 4% to $3,750. Other large caps like Binance Coin, Solana, they also saw solid gains.
So what's fascinating here is, despite that initial dip, the swift rebound suggests some resilient market sentiment, wouldn't you say?
I would. Yeah, those early risk-off jitters, they kind of quickly gave way to renewed buying interest. But here's where it gets truly interesting.
The meme coins.
The meme coins.
Yeah.
Those highly speculative tokens, often driven purely by community hype, they actually outperformed the broader market.
How much are we talking?
Dogecoin and Shiba Inu left about 5-7%, and even like niche tokens like Bonk surged roughly 8%.
Wow. Okay, so that strong performance from meme coins, it certainly points to risk appetite returning, maybe among retail traders, fueling that sort of opportunistic speculation.
That seems likely. But, analysts are cautioning these gains are fragile. They reflect sentiment more than, say, fundamental strength.
Right. So the overall market mood feels, cautiously optimistic, with dip buying emerging based on perceptions that macro developments could support crypto.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Cautiously optimistic.
Okay, so let's connect this to the bigger picture. What macro-level events were influencing these movements?
Well, a couple of interesting things. U.S. President Donald Trump made an unusual public suggestion that Fed Chair Jerome Powell may be ready to lower interest rates.
Right, I saw that. That initially unsettled markets a bit, didn't it? Concerns about Fed independence and all that.
It did, yeah. But the impact on crypto actually proved pretty modest and short-lived in the end.
Okay. And speaking of rate cuts, there was a big move elsewhere, wasn't there?
Huge. Russia's central bank made a significant move, slashing its key interest rate by a surprising 200 basis points.
200 points. From 20% down to 18%?
Exactly. That's aggressive easing by a major commodity exporting economy. It sort of hints at improving global liquidity conditions,
which can spill over into higher demand for risk assets, like crypto.
Precisely. And some analysts even noted, a softer ruble could potentially drive Russian investors towards hard assets like Bitcoin. It's a possibility.
So this raises an important question then. Is global monetary policy tilting more dovish?
Well, it's starting to look that way, perhaps. Look at the U.S. dollar index, the DXY. It also fell around 1% this week.
And a weaker dollar is typically bullish for Bitcoin and crypto, right?
Generally, yes. It makes dollar-priced assets cheaper for foreign buyers and often spurs investors to seek alternatives to holding cash.
Did we see that reflected in flows?
We did. We saw fund flows into Bitcoin exchange-traded products rising, hinting that, some investors are likely hedging dollar weakness with BTC.
Interesting. Okay, so beyond the market shifts, we also saw some significant industry developments surface.
Yes. Bitcoin experienced that sudden price drop, roughly 5-6% on Friday, triggered partly by those leveraged liquidations we mentioned earlier.
Right, the $150 million plus washout.
Yeah. Yet, the decline was short-lived. Bitcoin bounced off the lows, showing pretty strong buying support, actually.
So that highlights both Bitcoin's vulnerability to short-term shocks, but also its underlying resilience.
I think so, yeah. It's that dual nature again. However, we also got a stark reminder of persistent security risks. The WOX exchange hack.
Oof, yeah. That wasn't good. What happened there?
Attackers exploited a phishing attack on a team member, stealing about $14 million worth of crypto. Yep. It affected 9 user accounts.
14 million. Wow. Has WOX responded?
Yeah, they've assured reimbursements, thankfully. But it just underscores the critical importance of operational security, basic stuff sometimes.
Absolutely. Always a risk. But on a more positive note for corporate adoption.
Right. There was a Volcon Inc. They're a U.S. off-road electric vehicle manufacturer.
And they announced they acquired how much Bitcoin?
3,183 Bitcoin for its treasury. That's an investment worth roughly $375 million.
$375 million.
Yeah.
How did they fund that?
Through a $500 million private placement. They're explicitly embracing Bitcoin as a long-term store of value.
That's one of the larger institutional-style Bitcoin investments we've seen in recent months, isn't it? Following that MicroStrategy playbook.
Definitely. It shows continued corporate interest in Bitcoin, not just as a speculative asset, but as, a long-term store of value.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what did this all mean for you, the learner navigating this fast-paced world?
Well, ultimately, what this 24 hours reveals is crypto's dual nature, like we said. It's becoming highly attuned to global monetary shifts. It's embracing mainstream corporate adoption. Yet it remains a frontier where operational security is just absolutely non-negotiable.
Right. And Bitcoin's quick rebound amidst those significant liquidations, coupled with the potentially dovish global macro signals, maybe suggests a growing underlying strength.
Possibly. But as you said, the WOX hack reminds us that even with big corporate players entering, the fundamentals of secure custody and smart user practices are still paramount. Can't forget the basics.
Absolutely.
So given these conflicting signals, the massive corporate adoption versus these persistent security challenges, what key factor will you be watching most closely as crypto navigates this pretty complex landscape?
Good question to ponder. Keep diving deep, stay informed, and we'll connect the dots for you next time.
Enjoyed the brief? Please like and subscribe. We deliver fresh market updates, macro signals, and crypto news daily in just 5 minutes. Live streams coming soon. Stay tuned.